Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mr. Pick Me and the Manhater show. I am your host, Mrs. Manhater. I'm the Manhater.
Hello, Mrs. Manhater.
Even though I don't hate men, and this is introduce yourself, stranger.
I'm Chesko, Mr. Pick Me, even though I've already been picked. We don't introduce ourselves as Mr. and Mrs. because it leads to assumptions.
You do, you do, Mr. Pick Me.
Yeah, well, but not combined. Combined, it sounds.
The second, well, my brain freaked out, and then I wanted to say Mr. and I said, that's not right. So then I said Mrs. And then I was too deep in. I couldn't just say, scratch that.
For longtime listeners, I do want to point out that I did not mess up our intro today. And I literally said to Regan right before we started, I don't have anything to mess up our intro today. And she said, just be normal. And I was normal.
Do you know what it is, though? I said, just be normal. And he said, okay. And then he just screamed into the microphone.
I was ready. I was pumped up. I was like, woo, it's the normal podcast. Let's do it. Normal.
Actually, no, friends. That's a lie. Today is not a normal podcast because Chesko's upset again. Chesko has sent me a video.
Never happens.
Usually both of us are upset about something, but definitely at least one. What are we upset about today, Chesko?
Today we are talking about Justice for Riley. Theme song.
You want bad advice? Man, I'll give it out gladly. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. Shit.
Is it a serious topic?
No.
It sounds like it's gonna be
If people are going to think it's really, really more serious than, there's serious aspects of it.
Okay, just for our listeners, the topic is not that serious. It sounded like there was a human rights issue, but it's not that. Actually, I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what? So you haven't seen it. Maybe this is the most serious topic. This is a special episode of Mr. Pick Me and the Manhater. I listed us under comedy again I'm not sure what I should have us under relationships or comedy, because we talk about relationships, but it's not, I do feel like we try to focus more on laughing about
Also,
the absurdity.
I want to give a personal middle finger to you, Chesko, because guess who shows up on my freaking Instagram feed nearly every day?
Who? Oh,
the cowboy.
Our friend, the cowboy.
The cowboy who's Casanova, who's giving very scary advice to me.
Learned is, in fact, a very specific type of kink called primal play.
Does he say he's that?
He does not say it. I still stand by, it's problematic to give advice on the internet for a very specific kink without... because I don't think he realizes he's giving advice for a kink.
Yeah, because he's not acting like... He's saying, everybody's gonna love this.
Yeah. No,
Let's play tag.
He gave advice the other day about I can't even say it. I think it takes our podcast to another rating. He says he was like, how about I don't know how to say this is for if I'm uncomfortable saying it. He does this hand gesture.
No,
that's a very, very visual thing, but it had to do with this, and it was specifically about including this finger.
Okay, Chesko, this is an audio podcast.
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. All right, that's what he was going for.
I'm cutting that out. Cutting that out. There's
that is
no
the
way.
old phrase, and he's saying it as here's how to get your lady riled up at dinner.
That's like middle school boy.
Yeah, and then you also show her your pinky finger and say
before
to keep it we need to do something. It was something. It was so weird.
That's horrific.
That's not what today's episode's about, Regan.
That is horrific. That's like middle school boy.
And that's the point. Is he's giving the advice
of a middle school boy,
but to be like, hey boys, as a happily married man, this is how you keep your wife happy.
You send that man to jail, because I tell you what, if men pull that on their wife of 30 years, straight to jail.
It's the same it's a different type of problematic because, like I said, the people that are into that type of kink,
That's
I'm
fine.
sure it's graded. That's fine. And if you were saying, hey, to my people in this community, here's one thing I do I think your lady's going to love, right? That's different versus because it's the exact same problem that these fucking manosphere guys say, like, here's what women want. And they say a lot more. They're like, they really horrific things.
Yes.
Like I think there's a difference between, I think this man genuinely thinks he's giving good advice.
And I disagree. I think it's it's just this idea of these poor women out there who are going to receive this advice.
But it's probably older. Although,
that's what I'm saying.
We realize he's my age, which is still.
Yeah, but who's listening to him?
Yeah, it's probably older men.
Yes.
Trying to rekindle some.
That's what I'm thinking. I can't believe he did the hand gesture. I remember learning that, like, the boys would like do that hand gesture in school.
I told you I didn't want to say it. You forced me this time.
Well, all you did was like, it's an audio podcast. You just said the hand like this.
How do you describe it though without saying what I said?
Wait, didn't they call it the shocker? I feel like that's what it's called.
I think that was the shocker, right? Yeah.
Because I mistakenly asked what that hand gesture meant, and I did not like what I found out.
Not shaming anybody that's into ass play. That is not we're not a shame podcast. I'm just also saying, though, that's not something you should surprise your person with, man or woman, whatever, or across any genders.
He's killing me.
Don't give them a surprise shock that way. That's something you need to have a conversation about ahead of time.
We have to move on. I'm choking
Affirmative consent. That's an important thing. It's not just no. It is affirmative consent on something like that.
Honestly,
on most things.
Affirmative consent.
Yeah, so it's not just, there's a whole conversation I thought was really important about, it's not just enough to say no, like that she didn't say no, right? It's you need her to it's a conversation like telling, as far as consent is concerned, she should be saying yes, let's do this, as opposed to just, well, she didn't say no.
Oh, so you're
instead of just teaching no means no.
And then what's the other one, which is enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic consent, but it needs to be, that's kind of.
This is my least favorite intro ever. I almost died. I choked to death. I can't believe any of the things that were said today.
On the bright side, it has nothing to do with what we're about to talk about.
Here's a good test, because I always cut out this crap when we say crazy stuff. I cut it out last week. We'll leave it in this week, and you'd be the judge. They can decide.
You let us know. Let us know in the comments. Do you want to hear Unhinged? I mean, it's better. Our pre-show was us just like basically doing a political podcast, which is what happens a lot.
First day of school and politics.
If you want to hear our unofficial political podcast plus random stuff about our lives, go to the Patreon. Let's hear the video, Reagan. So here, let me give a little insight.
Yeah, give some background
before the video.
Okay.
So this is it's a account called Provo's Most Eligible. Is Provo in Utah?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Where's I think it is. Let me look it up. No, yeah, Provo, Utah. Okay, so this is near Brigham Young University. It looks like. Oh no, it's not that close.
Near what?
Brigham Young, the Mormon University.
Brigham Young?
BYU.
Oh.
You heard that?
Well, I've heard of. I just haven't heard it pronounced, I guess.
Yeah, Black Menaces does a lot of interview there that crack me up. So this is a dating show in a very large Mormon population. In this, so that I think does add some context to what we're about to see.
Flavor
to it. I don't actually, I don't think that matters really, because this is just. At the end of the day, it's a dating show for young college students looking to find love, and we have here. It looks like they have them stand up and kind of introduce themselves to the. I believe they have a white sheet kind of in between, so they're not able to see who's talking. But here's a young woman named Riley who introduces herself, and watch the reaction of the dudes on the other side.
Oh, so I'm going to hate it. Is what you're saying.
It made me very upset.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay, I'm Riley. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that. And then I just picked up skiing like 2 years ago, and I honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is gonna be there for me.
Aww. If any gentleman would like to get to know Riley more, please step forward.
They're nervous.
They're scared.
They're so scared. Come on.
Hey Riley, we're gonna have you sit down, but thank you for introducing yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And need I point out that the guys who are adults, they're in the college, are doing that super annoying thing that middle schoolers do, which is like, she's introducing herself and they're like, would anybody like to go with Riley? And they're literally like, oh, this guy would, like pointing to each other and laughing.
They're like mocking each other. They're like, while she's introducing herself.
Yes.
Which, first off, she sounds awesome.
Let me just tell you about this cutie patootie. She has a beautiful little crocheted flower vest on that is so cute. She has gorgeous hair. She is so fun. Like, I'm watching this thinking like, I would hang out with this. Well, not now because our age, the age gap,
Right,
but like, I would be her friend. Like, she seems so fun. And they're like, did you see those dweebs? Like, you're judging her?
That's the whole. Somebody wrote, "This is a bunch of threes really having a lot of high judgments about an 8."
Yeah,
I was like, I don't make number judgments of people, but like it's what happened there. And this is, I genuinely, fully think this is a great, like a perfect explanation or perfect like visualization of how men will do anything to impress other men.
Yes,
right?
this is all about the
care
boys.
So much more about what the other guys are going to think about them than about actual happiness, than about actually going after someone that might make them happy. That doesn't matter, because if the boys don't approve and they saw guys giggling and doing that schoolyard 12-year-old thing bullshit in there, for those of you that are audio listen to this, that are mocking this young woman for sharing nothing worth mocking. She likes a themed party. God forbid. She'd be interesting. And there's a follow-up video where she shares another thing as well, like what she's into. And I'm like, what is happening? Right?
Yeah.
It's and like, don't get me wrong, she doesn't have to be for everybody, but I guarantee you there were guys in that group that if they were all individually listening with like in a room by themselves, there were several of them that'd be like, she sounds great. That sounds fantastic. She
scuba dives. You don't want to hang out with a scuba diver. She wants to have experiences. Like, I thought that's what the men wanted. They didn't want like gold diggers or whatever.
No, but it was
she wants to have experiences.
The second somebody started like insinuating like, what a dork, what a nerd this is, then all the rest of them were like, oh yeah, no, like all silently. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a part of this at all.
I would rather go home alone.
Yeah. Then.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yeah. Oh God. Just if this might be one of the ones you want to see visually on our YouTube, just to see their faces, their jerk faces,
stupid little rat faces.
And like, I don't know, Riley she could very well be a terrible person.
There's a guy in a puffer coat.
But yeah,
are you messing? Are you? There, he has a black shiny puffer coat, and he's being judged.
I know nothing about any of these people other than what is going on in this moment, but also the one guy that is like giggling and laughing the most in the background later on says in another clip from this, so we could play more of what he's like, I'm a big Jesus guy. Right?
Oh, well, doesn't seem like you know him.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound like you're very, it's always like, it's like, you would be one of those guys. It's like very much like on the surface, like, oh, this is what the ladies like to hear in Utah.
Yeah.
That I'm a big Jesus guy.
It's a lack of understanding. Like, I'm big into Jesus. Probably I go to church. Probably my family's into it because most Mormons, it's like a family thing. But it's like, but you don't behave in any of the ways that he teaches. Okay.
I don't like any of the actual teachings of Jesus. I really like this misogyny thing we got going on, though.
Yeah, I heard I can get away.
in these evangelical spaces, I really like that men get to treat women like property. That sounds great.
That's the
Now,
part
as long
I'm
as we
into.
ignore the rest of the teachings, that's which is what a lot of them are doing. And I always said there was a friend of mine that I made a comment on one of her videos. I was like, I try not to bash like all belief systems or religions, right? That's not usually your belief system is a problem. It's the people
Right.
that are misinterpreting it and applying their versions of it to harm other people. That is the problem, right? And this is I think he's one of those people where he's mocking her, he's making fun of her, and then later on, I'm a big Jesus guy. Really? Really?
Because you're giving
later. And,
what's his name? Shit. Come on, Catholic. I went to Catholic school. What's his name? Judas. You're giving Judas vibes. Traitor. You fucking Judas.
And she even in a later on, and that's why I say I don't know what kind of person she is outside of this video, but in that clip though, she like quotes a Bible verse. I mean, she's like, I got it. So she's like, she has all these things these guys are saying that they want, but nope, they've decided she is not cool enough. And so
I don't know if there's many things that get me so riled up.
riled up.
As like bullying where you can see it happening. There's like when you can I mean you can see it in everyday life. Like if you're going out somewhere and then like you can see people being like, I will fight a stranger. I will absolutely, or at least befriend a stranger. Like if I see somebody who needs a friend. Anyways, that's not the point. But seeing shit like this where someone is like burying their like you little assholes, you came here for this. Like that's what this is. It's someone standing up and burying like just at least pretend to listen. Like you don't have to like her. You don't have to want to be with her. You don't have to go on a date with her. But to sit there and judge her and make fun of her like for the boys. By the way, you dum-dums, the girls can see you. You think the other women like that? You think the other women are going to see you being mean to her and be like, ooh, that's the man I want. The kind of man who makes a woman feel like shit. Like, way to show them what they're going to have for the next 20 years. I'm not even mad about this. I'm totally calm.
I think what makes me upset about this, though, and this is what it comes down, the obviously a theme we've talked about a lot, the male loneliness epidemic, is that these guys will then go back and be like, the same ones that are yelling about women will only choose the top 10% of guys.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to find someone and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, because they're also only, there was a conversation I think is very valid and needs to continue happening. Is there was a guy that was, I don't remember the video. I hope maybe I could find it. We could throw it in here if I do. It'll be hard to find. The internet's very big. But he was yelling, he was like, there's nothing worse than being hit on by an ugly woman. You see that one? And it's like, he is not like the most attractive guy in the
Hold
world.
on. Wait.
Okay.
I bet I can find it. I think I saved it. You and I tend to do the same videos, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
This happened the other day.
I mean, this is why we have a podcast together now.
I'm like, there was one I was literally about to do a video of, and then I was like, well, Chesko did it. I feel like we say the same things.
No, but I do think we have different perspective on things, though. Usually, like the only reason the other day I texted you, I was like, "Oh my god, I already recorded the video about the guy that was yelling at his wife," which we could do a whole podcast about. We could have done our whole podcast about that guy too. But I was like, no, our videos are still pretty different. I don't think we approached it in pretty different ways.
There's
so.
similar flavors.
We're saying the same point, but in our own version of saying it. Yeah.
Okay, listen. So this is the guy. I have it saved. So
nothing is more worse than an ugly chick shooting her shot at you. And I know all my guys can definitely relate to this. Like, I'm telling y'all, we could be chilling, focus on ourselves, trying to improve ourselves in life, grinding. Then they just come along, the mid ones. I'm so serious. Like, it literally could be anywhere, especially the workplace. Oh,
hold on. I want to point out he said ugly and then he said mid. So it's not even quote unquote ugly girls. It's even mildly midway attractive is gross to him.
Or what he deems to be midway attractive.
Which is usually like sweet. What's her name? Sydney Sweeney.
Right. Yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because you have to see that same girl every single day. So you already know she's gonna try to send smoke your way, shooting her shot so many times. She'll give you those hints, those signals. It's crazy, bro. And it's like, girl, stop. I'm not feeling you. Can you get the hint? But at the same time, you're not trying to be an asshole or like a jackass about it. You're trying to be cool as much as possible. But she in her mind thinking like, you got something going on. But at the same time, we don't. But we all know it's a part of the game. They're going to be coming in, shooting their shot, you know what I'm saying, being bold. Because if they like you enough, they're going to shoot their shot, bro. They're going to try to get what they can get. But always remember, if she's going, that doesn't mean you have to either.
The thing that is there's data and in general that shows that people tend to and it is still in a weird area of data and research, but in general it shows that if you ask enough people about to rate someone's attractiveness, whatever, you can get a good sense of what the general beauty standards of a society rate someone as, right? And I'm not saying that's correct because of the fact that I think there's a lot of problematic things that go into those beauty standards, right? But in general, when you look at the research that has been done on dating and attraction, people tend to only go for people that are roughly in their level of we have this inherent part of our brain can sense kind of how people are viewing us and how people would view this other person, and we tend to approach people that or end up with people at least that are of a roughly similar level of attraction. It doesn't always happen. Obviously, there are exceptions to this.
Sure.
Attraction is subjective, yada, yada, yada. There's things go into that. But the reason I think that's funny to bring up is that a guy like this will say it happens because he's making it sound like it happens all the time.
All the time.
Meaning that, because I don't think, how often do men get hit on? Especially if you're like an average dude. Like, this is not like this Adonis of a man.
I would think, according to like male standards for themselves and other men, he's not in the top. I don't even know, going off of how men judge men.
Right. I always feel uncomfortable judging someone, but just in general.
I'm just going off of how I would assume other men, because their standards are crazy. So he's not, I don't think he'd be the alpha in a group deemed by other men who think they're alphas.
Right. I could just say like I think it's not like, and it's also not like he's a celebrity. I think when you're a celebrity, it changes things up because you're going to get people all over the board.
Sure.
Like that are sending you messages and things like that. But like as a normal human being walking the earth, if consistently, you're like, why do only women that are well below me keep hitting on me? It's like, you need to self-reflect a little bit on.
Well, I it's also their like need and joy when it comes to ripping on women. Like they want to say there's a loneliness epidemic, but then when women show a genuine interest, like what he's talking about, and then these women, it's like they are so mean and nasty to them. And he's saying, well, you don't want to be an asshole. It's like, well, this whole video is being an asshole, really.
Right.
And so it's like, it's not even that we're saying like you have to get with these people, but like if the idea is that you're lonely, that you're not given opportunities, that women aren't coming up to you, but then when women come up to you, all you do is call them mid and make fun of them to their face, to the boys, because you'd rather have male validation. You can't really argue both points. You can't live in both worlds because they can't coexist. Either you're lonely because no one's coming up to you, or women are coming up to you so much that it's annoying and they're mid, and it's so funny how much you get to reject women.
And it's do you ever see, like, whenever they, like, the Whatever podcast, I fucking hate those jackasses. Have you ever seen it? He always has a bunch of women on there.
The guy who's like, bleh.
Yeah.
He looks like he lives a basement dweller.
Yeah, I did a video telling him to shave his beard recently. I don't know if you saw that one. He has a bunch of women that like he acts superior to. Yeah, and he'll always ask them to rank themselves, and whatever they rank themselves, he'll be I've seen when she. Yeah. Go ahead. It's just there's a million different. There's like literally 100 different clips of him online asking women to rank themselves, and no matter what they say,
He
he'll
goes
be
lower.
like, he'll be like, you think you're a 9?
I love the one. There's one where the woman says she's a 10, and he's like, "You're not a 10," and she's like, "Yeah, I am. I think I am, and
I know that's what you're talking about.
that's
Yeah.
my belief, and it's true for me. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're because it's like what happens is he asks for them to like self grade themselves or rate themselves, and then he does, but he expects that his rating is like the true rating and theirs isn't. And it's
Right.
like, dude, if you're going to say you're going to throw mine out, then why wouldn't I cast yours out? Like it goes both ways. You're not God. You don't choose the
Yeah.
rating. That's your opinion. And she
There's
basically
no world that exists where I would think what his version of a 10 is any opinion I would want to respect.
I have said this so many times, but ladies, just anybody, femme presenting people, probably particularly just in this kind of patriarchal society, when you get to the point where you do not care what men think of you, like what, especially cis men, like when you do not care how they rate you, they lose 80% of their power because most of what their power is and what like where they're it's not really strength but where they see their strength is in their ability to make you feel small, and most of their arguments, like Drew Afuelo talks about it all the time, their arguments are like, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that, and like once you get to the point where like even if I believe you think that's true, guy. Like, even if you think that's true, I do not give a shit what you have to say. I don't care. And that's where that was the energy that girl had, which was like, I don't care what you rate me as. I know what I rate myself as. Like, you can see him imploding internally because he realizes like, oh shit. Like, I have no power over this woman. She does not care what my opinion is. And like, I know it's a little bit of a soapbox, but like when you get to that point, like life changes because it is irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. Like what these guys think.
That's the core aspect of negging.
Yes.
Women, and that because that entire show's purpose, and all of these shows that do the ranking women and having them rank themselves publicly and everything, it's a public negging, right? Because if they can show a beautiful woman that is like a standard, like I said, typical, I don't know the word I'm looking for, that fits our stereotypical societal definition of beauty, and she's calling herself a 7, like on there, and everyone else is agreeing, oh yeah, you're a 7, you're a 7, then that immediately hits makes you as someone that might be impressionable and watching this and is like trying to find a partner. You're like, oh man, I must be on this weird stupid rating system. I
Right.
must be a 4 then. I must be below. I must be terrible because this woman that I think is beautiful is a 7.
Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk's out here thinking he's a 10. Please. Right. Well, it's just like the guy. There was I don't know his name. I don't care to. I never will. He would ask, and he's tall too, which makes it stupid. But the whole thing's stupid. But then especially, he would say to women, "Do you care what men's height is?" And some of them would say yes. And so then he'd pull out a scale. So this is his whole bit. And
that, yeah.
Horrendous. Also, what the fuck are you talking about? But also, whatever. Anyways, not the point. So that I saw that and I was horrified by it. I don't think we need to get into why that's horrifying. Obviously, it's gross. You end up finding out if you watch enough of the videos is the scale is rigged. So he's purposefully making women think they're heavier than they are. Because this one girl got on and she was like tiny, very petite and very muscular, like just a tiny, tiny person. Got on there and it said she weighed way more than it was possible. And even like men in the comments were like, I don't think so, man. And so the whole point was to make, so like it's rigged to make you feel like shit. You already feel like shit when someone brings out the scale. The whole point is to make people feel ashamed. But on top of that, he's going out of his way to humiliate women. And that's the goal. And that's what's funny, supposedly.
Yeah. It's the most obvious example of like, I'm really insecure. So instead of trying to make myself feel better, or the only way to make myself feel better is to bring other people down,
100%.
as opposed to working on myself and figuring out other things, other aspects I have. Because and this is why I've said this before, and I think it needs to be pushed by more people that are giving like good dating advice online to things. Because I'm not a dating expert, but I do know one thing for certain is to get the fuck off dating apps. Like they are, you go meet people in real
Yeah.
life, because the reality of the world is that this chronically online group, and it's growing. They're sucking people into that same
Yeah.
chronically online dating thing. Think that all women will only date someone that is over 6 foot tall, right? That all women will only be attracted to, and that this is a universal thing that all women are saying, because they see these podcast clips where these guys select women that are, and they're usually 18, 19-year-old women that are saying that they'll only date someone over 6'2".
Oh, they're always young.
Yeah, it's almost always young. Or on the other side, it's someone that is genuinely like a supermodel, that is like, that is living a life of a certain thing, a certain type of life, as opposed to looking at, if you explore the real world and you have hobbies and you take classes and you meet other people, you can easily. I have so many friends that are below 5'10", right? That are in happy marriages, right? That are in long-term relationships with beautiful, lovely, intelligent, amazing, funny women, right? That they didn't have a problem finding them, right? They're younger guys too. I know they're not just like people my age. It's not like this is a brand new thing where height has been something people talk about. But they met them in real life. They didn't go on Tinder to meet them.
Well, and the other thing, to your point, like just the height conversation. Like, I know that's a problem. I've had so many men lie to me about their height. I couldn't care less how tall people were. Truly, like obviously, I'm married to someone my height. I have dated many short kings in my day. I don't care, but like this just showcases kind of like the disdain for women, because it's not like a conversation was had. Because if it was just a conversation, I think there's valid points to height. I do think it's a preference. And I understand that people's feelings can get hurt over that. Like it's not like I don't have empathy. Like, I think it's hard if you're really a short guy and you think that you have to be tall to be a man, and you feel like women don't want to be, like, that sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not a conversation that was had in that clip. It's not like they said that and he said, okay, but you're judging on height, but what about weight? Which I would not have liked the conversation, to be fair.
Right.
But he goes a step further. Like, there's so many steps here. He goes a step further to bring a scale out and demand she get on it.
Right.
Like, it's not just like, oh, what about your weight? That would be bad enough. I wouldn't like that. But then to say, well, get on the scale. And then to go even further to rig the scale so they think they're heavier, which the only point is to humiliate women. And the only way he knows that it will humiliate women is because he knows we live in this patriarchal society where women are terrified of gaining weight or being too heavy or not being whatever, not skinny enough. So it's like, this urge, I guess, my point is, like, this urge of men to humiliate women is so messed up. Like, that's what that is for that guy. And I see the same things, like the guy talking in his car, like the way he's talking about women, like, that's humiliating. Like, you're so mid, you're so ugly. Like, the point of that is to humiliate women, to make the boys laugh. We go to Riley, it's the same shit. It's let me make this girl feel humiliated. Let me ruin this moment for her. Let me, take someone who's really putting themselves out there. Let me be closed off, not make eye contact, make her feel stupid, make her feel small for the boys, because it makes me feel good.
Because also the worst thing that can happen is that she turns them down, right? Because then they're like, I'm humiliated. But like the reality is, you're never gonna find someone that you like and that you get along with and that's gonna complete you in so many ways if you don't risk that humiliation, right?
Right.
That rejection rejection happens. I think that's the other aspect of like that. It's like they think that's the worst fucking thing in the world.
Well, that's it. Like, rejection doesn't have to be humiliating.
It doesn't have to be. It could just be what it is.
Well, exactly.
I think we're on the same page. Yeah.
It's because you've made it to be so humiliating. You've set this system up. Like you've set this intense system up of like degrading people in the dating world, humiliating people in the dating world. Like you set up an antagonistic system in which harm comes to somebody. Somebody's feeling bad.
Right.
There's just no way to get through any type of dating encounter without somebody feeling shitty. And like that's not the environment you want, my guys. Like you're setting up adversarial relationships. You're setting up extremely judgmental scenarios. You're setting up humiliation.
The other aspect of this too is like the creating this persona for that they think women will like. I cannot, and this is me being autistic, where like I just feel like that would be so hard to do. To create
persona?
like this whole thing, because I already have, I'm very aware, I'm a heavy masker, I'm very aware of who I'm putting, but this is all still me, right? There's no aspect of me that you see online that is not fully me in that moment. I feel like if I were to put on a character where I pretended I was all these things, and then that somebody liked that character, that wouldn't feel good to me. That wouldn't feel any better than being rejected.
It's exhausting, I'm sure.
You still don't like me.
Yeah, well, you don't know
like
me.
This thing that I created that I thought you'd like.
Well, I don't understand the idea of like thinking that will make people attracted to you. Because maybe there's some pick me type of gals out there. And I mean that in the literal sense, which is like, I will throw women under the bus to be picked, right? So maybe they would like that behavior because if one girl looks bad, then I look good, in that type of mentality. But I don't know many women that would watch a woman get up there and like really put herself out there and like be genuine and be kind and watch these guys make faces and look away and laugh at her. Like, I don't know many women that would find that appealing because you know what I think it proves, if anything, and you talked about this before, how much of dating is for men, like men for men, because like this is supposedly to get women, but that performance, them like yucking it up and being like, oh yeah, no, he wants it. That's for the men. Like girls don't want to see, like young ladies don't want to see young men treating women like shit. So that is for the guys. Like they're willing to throw themselves under the bus and potentially getting with other girls for 2 seconds of looking quote unquote cool for the boys.
And like, and this something I realized afterwards, there was like a sheet of like, they couldn't see each other. Like, so both groups were separated. Like, you know, if that sheet wasn't there, they wouldn't
really?
They wouldn't be, the only reason they were acting up for the boys is because they knew the women couldn't see them.
But she could see them.
No, it looks like in that they frame it that way in the video. I found that later on. The video looks like it's like they're
that
just
makes
talking.
so much more sense.
Yeah, and so that's why they're behind this sheet and acting like assholes because they know that it's this.
They can be assholes without having.
Can't see them.
Yeah, what cowards then? They're assholes.
Total cowards. Because you know, if that sheet wasn't there, they wouldn't be doing that. It would be a completely different scenario.
Ew, that makes it so much worse. Yuck. Oh my God, I hate that, Chesko. But so Riley did not see them making those faces.
Not until she saw the video, I'm assuming.
Oh my God, Riley. Justice for Riley is right. But like, there you go. It's like such. Just stop. Like, stop. You're the one on the dating show, dude. It's like, stop acting like you don't want to be there. Clearly, you want to find a girl. Why else would you be there? You don't need to make people feel like shit. I just don't understand it. It's so common too. And like, I hate when I see like someone who is unique, like she's dressing unique, her hobbies are interesting, and like being crushed. Like, I hate that. Like, oh God. I mean, we know, like, I know the Mormon culture, there is kind of like a cookie cutter look they seem to like in like how they like the women to dress.
These were like full on. I don't know, like
maybe not,
but like devout Mormons. Like the way that everyone in that room was dressed seemed more college
relaxed,
as opposed to. I don't know enough about Mormon culture to know if that's like a thing now.
Right, but even culturally, it's like just seeing somebody who's brave enough to put themselves out there exactly as they are, like, just bums me out to see them be such jerks. I'm very interested now because they had the sheet up, like, like, ooh, like the way they instinctively took advantage of the scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like immediately we're like, oh, cool, we can really be rude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The one guy that was being the biggest asshole of giggling and like whispering and everything was the one later on when the sheet was gone. I'm a big Jesus guy. I love God. I love church. Please share your favorite passage with me.
This is like the locker room. Like the more social media we have, the more we are given access to the locker room and locker room talk. And it's really frightening because like, you know, I grew up with essentially with the sheet. Like you only see the side of guys that they want you to see. And like, it was really disheartening as I got older to recognize or find out like what these guys did behind all the girls' backs and like how they talked. Like you would hear stories of how they talked about like someone they were dating and you were like, oh my God, like that's awful.
This is why the number one thing I've said before is that what I do on social media doesn't matter. What guys are saying in that moment when this shit happening, that's when the change happens. I'm still friends with this person because he changed, he did grow. I think, and part of the reason he grew was because of moments like this. He was sharing something with us, and I was like, we were drunk, by the way. This is like a group of guys.
I know what you're talking about, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he shared something with us. I don't want to be too specific about it because, yeah, but he shared something. I was like, and I was like, that's fucked up, man. I was like, that. Why are you doing that? That's not. And he got, and we went back and forth for a while, and then he ended up storming out of the apartment and yelling at me, "You fucking feminist, you feminist bullshit, blah blah blah," and left. But it needed to be said, right? Because if I didn't say it, nobody else was going to, and everybody else in the room was going to be like, "Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool he did that." It was like I said, without being too specific, it wasn't something horrific. It wasn't. He didn't do anything that he should go to jail for, or like anything like that he'd be canceled for. But it was enough that he was being an asshole. It was like these guys laughing at Riley, right? Like it's just you gotta. If a guy's an asshole to a woman and treating a woman like shit, you need to have the balls. You know, and this, I'm using that word specifically in this, to stand up to other men and be like, hey, stop being a dick. You know, stop treating, that's not okay. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you're sharing that because you thought it was cool. I want you to know, I don't think that's cool. And if more men weren't such cowards in behind the scenes in these curtained moments, then we would have a lot less of this horrific stuff happening outside of the sheets, right? When the sheet is dropped, right?
Yeah, exactly. I spend my days like I call it out constantly. If anybody says something fucked up, it could be any type of fucked. I mean, women say fucked up things too, and
right.
Across the gender binary,
what?
Or across the gender spectrum, we all say crazy stuff, but. Like I love to call people out to their face because they're like, oh, you can tell they've never been challenged really. I remember one time, this was like, oh God, high school, I guess. But I remember this guy had dated my friend for a long time. And then they broke up and he was like, he was clearly trying something. And he was like, I really want you to know that like that whole time that I was with her, I really liked you. And I was like, he was a weirdo too. I remember one time this is a really weird story, but they were like making out there was a trampoline and they were like this was high school. They were like making out and he's like, come lay next to us. And I was like, no, pass. I'll be jumping over here. Anyways, he's a weirdo. But I remember going, I'm sorry. Do you think that's a positive thing? You've just told me the whole time you dated my best friend, you were interested in me. Do you think I like you more now? Do you think I'm interested? That is like the worst thing you could have said to me. You know what I mean? Like that is truly
that is
one of the grossest. But like you could tell he was like,
I would have if you had asked, I would have cheated.
I know. That's what I mean, it's like, so you lied to my friend or you misled her or you acted like you're more interested or you had feelings for her best friend. Like there is no world in which that's a positive to me. I think you're an asshole now and I hope I never speak to you again. I did say something to that effect. But it's like there's so many men that say these wild things and like I catch them when I can. I think a lot of people catch them when they can. but it is behind the sheet. It is behind closed doors. It's with people they're comfortable with. I've had men, because I'm a lesbian, assume like I'm cool with that, and I've corrected them quickly.
Oh, you like objectifying women too? Then.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
sweet.
I can tell you where I was because I found it so disturbing. I was like walking with a guy from work. We were like going to lunch or something, and he was like trying to get me to talk bad about my wife. Like it was clearly a setup. Like he was talking bad about his wife, and it was like he was teeing me up, and I was like, no, I don't have anything to say like that. And he's like, leans into me, he's like, she's not here. Like that was stopping me.
This is what we do.
I know it was literally like he was
Did you
smiling.
know?
He's like,
Did
you
you
can
not
be in
know
we can be in the
can say
club.
that.
You can be in the boys club. Like he was like, oh, thank you, good sir. But I look at him, I was like, I'm aware. I still don't want to talk back. Like it's like so I've had moments of that I can like push back. But really, I agree with you. Like men to men, like that's when they say the worst stuff, and that's when they listen. Men don't.
Because there's also. Oh, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna say, men. Those type of men do not care what a woman has to say about that behavior.
And I was gonna say, and that's also the reason. It's not like this is a confidant where you're like, oh, this is something I'm struggling with my wife. Right? You know, this is really frustrating to me, and I'm sharing it with you because I'm saying it out of love, and I'm that I'm not looking.
Not that.
No, this is someone say, hey, let's talk shit about our wives.
It was very common.
You hate your wife too? Is that how lesbians work?
It was like at the office. Like I've talked about on my other podcast. I've talked about it before, but it would happen, and I would have to like correct it every time I heard it because it opened my eyes to what goes on because I wasn't privy to those conversations. No one was having those conversations around me, but I guess they got confused. Maybe I like, oh, well, she's with women, so she talks shit on women, clearly. But they like the guys would talk shit on their wives, like as a group, like the heads of the company, you'd hear them, or like there's a lot of I worked at a production company, so there's a lot of editors, and like
I'm just imagining him responding and like, oh, is your wife the man?
oh, I should talk to her about you.
She's the one. Okay.
Oh,
that's
so
good to know. Oh, okay.
So she wears the pants.
Because I've seen conversations where they can't fathom
no.
that relationships can function outside of this gender binary dynamic.
Well, it's so funny too because I'm actually not looking. She has shorter hair and she has a little more masculine style than I do, but I am definitely more masculine personality wise. And so people are like, I don't know what to do with this. I told you I get along with guys great when they're not being assholes. And so yeah, it was really interesting.
I don't believe you.
What's the name of this podcast then? But yeah, it's like seeing behind the curtain, like this, as the saying goes, but really understanding the way that men talk about women when they're not around. And again, I think we're just, because of social media, we literally are in the locker room, we're given access, and now we are seeing these conversations, and it's gross. And this, again, like, this is what, like, there's so many times we're like, whoa, online, not women, but there's the loneliness epidemic. But then you see shit like this and you're like, yeah, women can see you. Women saw that video. Women see these things. Women see your posts. Like, just go through someone's social and you'll know a lot about them. What do they like? Who do they follow? All of this is available. So it's like, yeah, if you don't like women and you make it clear you don't like women, and you like videos like the one we discussed where the guy's like, oh, don't you hate how uggos are always talking to us? Like, yeah, women don't like that.
That's not an attractive quality. You don't want that showing up at some point. You're like, what's this about? He's, oh,
what's this?
Not you, baby.
You're at least a 7.
I said yes to you because you're not one of the uggos I was talking about.
You're only mid with your makeup off. So
that's a whole nother podcast episode there. Can I share? So speaking of like behind the scenes, I genuinely do try to have conversations with these guys that attack me. And it's become a fun little pastime for me.
These guys who attack me.
Well, they'll DM me like these, like they'll come after me. Like what I'm saying, they're like, You don't understand, blah, blah, blah. And one of my favorite, I've done it about 3 or 4 times now, where somebody will say something like, you don't understand, women, you're wrong. Women will only date somebody that is like in the 1% of guys that are over 6 feet tall and make this money, blah, blah, blah. And now I like respond. I was like, thank you so much for thinking I so highly of me. And they're like, what? I was like, you just said I was in the 1% of men. And they're like, well, but you can always tell it comes. They're like, no, no, and they try something back, and it disarms them so bad that I've been able to have like really good conversations with them, after that. But I wish that's my favorite little thing is like to pretend like they're complimenting me.
Stop.
Stop it! I'm here.
blushing.
I can see what you're writing.
I am blushing
Wow.
right now.
You think so highly. Why are you yelling at me? You clearly think I am the alpha, and that you just said I am part of the 1% of all men. Like that's wow. Thank you.
You are 6'5", Jessica.
I appreciate that. Like, I make good money. I'm 6'5". If I was
I'm amazing.
I am. God, what am I doing? I need to start a dating service right here about.
Yeah, again, like I also think a lot of the talking points are wild things people say when they're like being filmed, when they're being questioned on the street, or like their ideal situation, ideally I would like a really tall person. Like so many of these things are not like the reality for most people.
Right.
Of course, when you're being interviewed on the street, people say crazy stuff about what they want. And it's like, the reality is I'd say most of my friends, their partners are not like crazy tall. Like I don't know many people that are that strict about what they're looking for. I think we talked about this last week. I feel like it's just an excuse to hate on women while simultaneously excusing not having women. It's like, what?
And excusing not doing any of the work on
Right,
yourself
exactly.
that women say that they are actually interested in.
Well, I'm not 6'5", so it doesn't matter. Like,
And the thing
okay.
is that everyone's allowed to have a unrealistic standard for who they want to be with.
Go off.
The only person they're punishing by not achieving that is themselves, right?
Yeah,
If a woman only wants this 0.01% of men, then that's fine. That's just if she's decided that the only type of man that's going to make her life better is in this small percentage, then great.
Then
that's
fine.
Fantastic.
Who cares?
You can do that as a guy too.
That gets into the consent too, because like I do think that's part of it. It's like men, because the solution is like, oh, to your point, you can have a high standard and that's not you. Women just don't want that. Woman doesn't want you, and find one that does. And she can do that even if she never finds that guy. That's her right, and that's her preference, and that's fine. But it's like it's almost like they don't like the consent aspect. Like, well, she should have to. Her standard's dumb, and it's like
her standard's dumb because she's the one I want, and that's all that matters.
It's like, sorry, that's the thing is, it's like she could want an 8-foot tall alien. Maybe she won't get it, but that's her. Like, it's like they don't like that they're getting a no, even if it's only perceived, even if it's only like ideologically. I don't like that some woman out there is going to reject me potentially, maybe, even though they wouldn't have access to her in the first place because she wouldn't be interested. But it's like the consent thing again, as is always their problem. I want access to you and I should have your consent.
The whole point is that everyone has a type, right? Everyone has certain things that they're into. It's like it would be the same thing as them getting mad at you because what you want is a woman.
And
right?
they do. And they do.
Yeah, I know. That's the exact same. They don't see that. I think people think that's a different conversation, but that's the same type of anger there. It's like, well, but I want you.
Yeah, but you should be with me.
Yeah, you should be with me.
I could change that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you ever tried? Yeah.
Yeah. How did I get here? How do you think I got here, Greg?
I really do genuinely believe that any single man that is fully invested in it being a choice is gay. I don't know if that's controversial to say because like that means they're like, no, I am consciously every day
Choosing this.
Or like bi or poly
Yeah,
pansexual
something.
like because like if you truly believe that there's no such thing as a choice, that you are fully biologically attracted to one type of person, then it would be very easy to understand why a woman would be attracted to a woman. But if you're like, no, I am making the choice. You know how hard it is for me?
Every day I have to look at men.
Every day,
women.
all I'm thinking about is dicks. I just can't get it
I
out of my head.
choose to not get on Grinder today. I
Yeah,
did yesterday.
Every single day. So I know for a fact you have to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, spoiler, no. But
I don't, is that
also
controversial to say?
no, I
don't know,
like
just-
that.
was just- yeah.
I mean, it's a choice or it's not. That's a fact. Either it
Yeah.
is or it isn't. So if it's not a choice for you, it's not a choice for me. If you're saying it's a choice for me, is it a choice for you?
There's something else going on. Nikki.
We're gonna dig deep one of these days.
Yeah.
I also want to be clear. Like, preferences is fine. Like we said, you can have whatever preference you want. What is wrong with all of these videos is humiliation, degradation, judgment.
And that's it right
because
there.
somebody's not your preference. That's the difference. These guys don't just have preferences. They have preferences and then they degrade women who aren't said preference. They basically humiliate anyone who's not to their standard, but also in order to get them to be their standard. Like they want to I would say they would want every woman to look like they want them to look. I think that's true, but I also think they want to weaponize that degradation. They want to weaponize that negation, I guess. But they want to weaponize it because they know if I can make you feel like shit,
Right.
I might have a chance at you. If I can make you self-conscious and you are so unsure and unsteady about who you are and if you're good enough for me, then you won't even have time to worry about if I'm good enough for you. I may not have anything to bring to the table, but I can make you feel like you didn't bring enough. And I think that's a big part of this whole play. And like,
As if society is not already doing that to women far more than men, about like making them feel terrible about every aspect of their identity and who they are, and that they're not doing enough.
it's the
and
whole
it's-
system.
yeah.
It's like, because you have, again, I am dead serious. Like, the system fucking starts to fail when you don't give a shit about male validation. And I'm not saying like, you don't care. Like, you can like if someone compliments you, and like you can like your men's approval. But what I'm saying is, if you don't live or die by validation, like the whole system doesn't work as well, because it depends on that. Like everything depends on women needing the validation of men and like needing to feel like they're good enough and needing approval, because like, you've seen comment sections, like my comment section, a lot of times what men come for is like your looks. With me, normally they claim I don't have a man, which is factually true. They're right there, not how they think. But it's like, they don't come for my looks as much as they just are like, well, you're alone. And I'm like, well, that's not true. But there is no man, so you got me there. Chad 6969, you got me there. But it's just this, like, that is what they attack you on. Drew talks about it, like they actually don't have good talking points. So if them trying to come at your looks or whatever they deem they can come at you for is not effective, they really do lose power in arguments, because that's what they bring to the table. Because you can say, I don't care about your opinion, so let's talk about the argument. Those dudes cannot deal. They cannot. If it comes to facts, they're like, oh, well, you're ugly. You're like, I don't care that you. I agree. You think I'm ugly. Great. And let's move forward. And they're like, no, you're supposed to cry now. You're supposed to
But
run.
I said you were ugly. I win.
I win. You're ugly.
Isn't that what we were talking about?
No, we're talking about politics.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with what's going on. But that's why I've said before. I've said this on the show before. Like, that's another thing I say in DMs all that. Like, what specifically did I say that you think is so degrading toward men or toward you specifically?
Time code.
What's not? I mean, I don't do those things. All right, then the video wasn't about you. right? Then why are you so upset? I think it.
Why are you
maybe
here?
You do. Maybe do you want to do those things? Are you upset that I told
Does
you
your
that you
friend?
can't, you shouldn't do those things? Yeah, are you seeing
Yeah.
your father in my videos? Like,
Right,
maybe
yes.
that could there could be lots of things. Well, I'm seeing my buddies do that though. Like, well, your buddies are assholes then. I don't
know how
mind.
to tell you
Show
this.
them my videos. Let them tell me what they have an issue with, and then let me talk to them.
Yeah. That's the thing is I will get people, a lot of men fighting me on things, and it only proves that they're the man I'm talking about.
Right.
Because secure men, like I have so many guy friends. They have no problem with my videos. They think that like they laugh at them just because like other guys will laugh at guys being assholes. Like they'll be like this dude's a tool. Like this guy sucks. They can acknowledge it just like anybody else can. It's a you problem. If you can't hear about a-hole men without feeling attacked, then perhaps you embody some element of the guys I'm talking about, or love a guy that I'm talking about. Like you are relating and empathizing with this type of guy.
Well, I made a post the other day that talked about like the videos that I get the most angry comments from men are the ones where I'm talking about how misogyny and toxic masculinity harms men. Like it's not like I get obviously a fair amount in all my videos talking about like the way it harms women too, but the ones where I'm talking about, hey, yeah, this is really fucking up men's mental health, and this is causing men to be single, and this is harming dudes, and they're like, hey, fuck you, man.
Don't you try and help us.
Like it's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing. I'm like, hey, this is me saying that this is what one of the major underlying premises behind why I talk about these things is because I think the primary overt harm is done to women because that's kind of what the system is set up to do,
Sure.
is oppress women for the sake of men, but it also is responsible for men committing suicide, like successfully committing suicide more often. It's successful for the reason why all these sorts of men not being able to express their feelings,
Oh, yeah.
and being depressed and all these other sorts of harmful things that happen to men.
They're
are
like, no.
all the result. They're like, oh, that's not true. You hate men. You hate me.
You know what it
Tell me
is?
you hate me.
It's that the answer is in their on their court, and the ball's in their court to solve the problem. And I don't think because like if I say something, there's so many times they'll come back and be like, well, what about men? And what about when women do men? And I was like, I have never said women don't do. I try and include the whole gender spectrum, to be honest. But yeah, it's like they'll be like, well, you don't care about and I'll politely be like, I do. That's not a video. Hey, guess what? You have access to the TikTok. If you'd like to make a video about your experience, I am not a man. I don't have that experience to express.
If you would like to see a video of people trashing women, let me introduce you to the internet. Because there are a lot of them.
You know what? Go ahead and just put woman in the search.
Yeah, and
You'll
just
find
see
it.
what comes up. I guarantee you, within 10 seconds, you're going to find somebody trashing women.
You'll find a friend.
in some way or another.
But it's just, but then, it's like, but if you need to include men, but if you include men, then you shouldn't include men. It's just, I really do think I want men to be harmed. No, I want acknowledgement that men are also harmed in the system, which they absolutely are. I would hope no one's arguing men aren't also harmed on some level. But also, I don't want you to say it's men's fault. I want it to be women's fault that men are harmed. And then that's where we're at an impasse, I think.
Yeah.
They're like, no, but I'm hurting, but also not from me. Okay.
Yeah, there is a growing number of men I've seen being willing to talk about this because for a
good.
while there was like 4 of us that were, and I will say it is growing, and I'm happy
Thank
about
God.
that. But it also terrifies me because I've seen how many guys have we seen in this space that it turns out they're just using it to get like access to women.
Oh, well, even if they don't start with that intention, which I think some absolutely do, but then they start getting attention and they're like,
"Ooh,
oh,
here's
wait,
my
am I an
chance."
alpha?
And so it's like I'm always, because I got added into a group chat recently on Instagram of a bunch of men that are making this work, and I haven't heard of half of them. And I'm like, I'm so hesitant. I'm like, I need, before I follow any of
Please
you,
don't be bad.
I need to like spend time with your content and interact with you. Like there's probably 3 or 4 guys that I like, Sizer, Professor Neil, like people that I've talked to in real life.
You have
that
to
I've
talk to
interacted
them.
with. Yeah.
I've
That I know for certain.
I've been fooled before by multiple genders that people were not who I thought they were. You have to recognize there will be people who have good points that may not be the best people. Like where you'll like be like, but they said this cool thing or they said this good thing. It's like, okay. But as a whole, and that's a problem too, is like you may only see one viral video of someone. So you may only know them from one thing. And it's like, it's very hard to get a full grasp of people. But I would just say, and even in just to the people listening, like even in our spaces where, you know, it's seemingly people trying to help or do better or encourage growth in others, whatever. Any space where people get a lot of popularity and fandoms and commenters, like anytime someone's getting that level of attention, you run the risk of them maybe, even if they started okay, like becoming somewhat performative, because performative, you know what it reminds me of? I didn't finish that thought. Performative interactions and posts really do well. Like, have you seen the guy? I don't know what, he's European in some way. He's like, she's not crazy. You've just broken her heart.
Oh, yeah.
So many
You gotta yell at
times. Stop. You're killing her. She's tired. I'm like, bro, my wife's working from home. I probably shouldn't scream.
Yeah.
But
I know exactly what you're
that is the far end of performative. Okay.
It's like, first, you didn't say any words I disagree with. Why do I hate you?
Who is this for? Are you maybe trying to get some lady friends?
Yeah.
Because it's 2 men, but it's clearly not men watching.
Right. And obviously, and that's what the thing that's important, and I've open about this, is like, you should have doubts, including me. You should have doubts about, why am I in this space when it doesn't overtly benefit me, right, to be in this space? And now I would argue that I think this harms, that's obviously part of my platform, is that it absolutely benefits me to overthrow these misogynistic structures that are out there. However, so it is still self-serving if you look at it in a different, it's just not self-serving in the typical, I'm looking to get laid, by a random woman on the internet kind of way.
Cannot imagine. Would not happen.
So
that's all she wrote, I think.
there we go. Justice for Riley.
Justice for Riley. If you're listening, I will be your friend. I know you're looking for dating, but we all think you're very cool and we really like you.
The characteristics of like someone that's adventurous and likes going and doing things and having fun, like, why is that cringy? I don't get that. That's absolutely what I was when I met my wife. I was like, she does cool things. That's great.
I honestly think people are so terrified of being cringe. Like it's like labeled now, right? So they're so terrified of it that they go out of their way to judge others to show they're not cringe, which unfortunately leads to this crazy environment where then everybody's thinking everything's cringe, just praying that no one thinks they are. Like that's what I see so much of. And it's really sad because I feel like there's so many unique people with unique interests that, are seen as cringe. Like loving anything is cringe. You know what I mean? Right. Not actually, but the way that they talk about it. And so like, be cringe, truly. Do what you love. Who cares? Like, I think all of us, who cares what other people think? Who cares about these boys behind the sheets? Like, that sounds so creepy. But like, just be your authentic self. Then you can find someone who's authentically paired for you, or at least authentic friends. Like that's what matters.
That's part of the benefit of me having such a poor ability to hide who I am, is that when I was dating someone, they knew who they were. They knew who they were getting. Yep. Right. There was no surprises down the line. My wife cannot say that the man I am now at 43, there's not really any surprises since the man she met when I was in my 20s.
You know what, Chesko? I will say the men that I dated early on did get quite a surprise later in life about me. Yeah.
I guess, but perfect. You didn't realize it, but you were not living your authentic self.
No,
at that point, right?
I was just like, this is so hard. Why is it so much work?
Why is this so gross?
You know what, Jessica? That's one in the category of your theory, which is that it's when people think it's a choice, it's because I had to choose real hard to keep doing it.
You're like, I guess. I mean, the other thing sounds great.
Oh God, why is this so much work to be straight?
Everyone must hate this, right?
I genuinely thought that. I literally can pinpoint conversations and moments that I was like, oh, everybody hates it. I get it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But here we are now, authentically myself, and that's how I paired with my wife. Because you got to know who you are to find who's. Not only do you need to know who you are, but your partner needs to know who you are too. If you're going to find somebody that's going to match you,
so you don't shock them with a Primal Play video.
Don't you say shock in reference to the Primal Play? You're sick. You're sick.
Man.
On that note, we have to go because I have to go throw up and scream. But thank you for joining us. As you know, you might want to watch on YouTube so you can see Chesko's really great hand gestures this episode.
Ooh.
And the facial expressions of these guys, because it really is something. Canceled. And then we have our socials, which will be underneath this episode. Other than that, we will see you next week. Bye.
See you on the flippity flop. Bye. Love you.
I got some good advice for you.